Welcome back to the channel. If you are looking for the top 7 business loans using EIN only with no doc, low doc, with fast reviews, no personal guarantee, and generously high amounts, this is the review you are looking for. Number 7, we have Bluevine. Our score, 8/10. What we love about Bluevine is that they basically they actually give you a line of credit. But if you are trying to, let's say if you're looking for a loan, business loan using EIN only, they'll take care of you. They'll customize the transaction for you. They usually do also invoice factoring, but they actually structure it as a business line of credit. So they will do line of credit or a business loan using EIN only if you're able to customize the transaction with them. Everything starts with Bluevine. Everything starts with having a phone call. Do not do the, you can actually do the online pre-qualification form, just fill in your numbers, whatever. But once you send everything out to them, make sure that you start talking to their rep. It's very important. Their rep, the rep they assign to you is going to be the person who's going to help you explain the whole Bluevine process and give you the business loan using EIN only with no doc, low doc that you need. Okay, very important. And the one thing I want to say here is that Bluevine has remained over the years one of the only online lenders that offers no paperwork, invoice factoring, line of credit, business loan, and they do it under $250,000. Okay. What I'm trying to say here is that do not actually just apply online. Don't do everything online. You do the pre-qual online, but once you have your data in, start talking to one of their reps. We have business clients who have actually borrowed from Bluevine, not only business lines of credit, but also business loans using EIN only for the last 5 years. So we know exactly what we're talking about, okay? And one thing you want to do here is that they will ask you to connect your bank account, your business bank account, and accounting software to their system. If you don't want to do that, you're going to have to submit bank statements. So they have 2 ways. Either you submit the last 3 bank statements, monthly bank statements, or you can just connect your accounting software and your business bank account to them. Okay, so this is really good. And so basically, Bluevine will accept if you want to do EIN only, that's fine. If you don't want to do EIN only, if you don't want to do EIN, you can actually base the credit decision, the underwriting decision, based on your personal FICO score, and they can take FICO score as low as a 550. We have clients whom we were able to get approved, and they had some clients had 530, 545. It's totally possible. And Bluevine wants you to have at least 3 months in business and $100,000 in annual revenue. So Bluevine number 7, 8/10. That's our score. Number 6 here, we have KickPay. Our score, 8.5/10. KickPay is great for inventory financing. Okay, again, we are speaking about business loans using EIN only with no doc and low doc. Okay, now KickPay, the only thing is they are specializing in e-commerce business loans. So if you're not in e-commerce, you cannot qualify. Okay, you can't. It's just for e-commerce businesses. And KickPay offers advances to fund 16 weeks of inventory for most types of e-commerce businesses. So basically, what KickPay does is that they will connect with your bank account, e-commerce store, and fulfillment center instead of requiring documentation. Okay, and they do something similar to Shopify too. I mean, Shopify Capital does the same thing. So KickPay sends the funds directly to your manufacturer and deducts a percentage of each order as repayment. It charges a fee that ranges from 3% to 7% of the advance, which is low if you really compare it to other similar options. Shopify Capital charges way more. Okay, but the thing is, you could pay extra fees if you see an unexpected drop in sales. And it can take between 8 and 12 days to get funding after you apply. We were able to get our clients in after 6 days, but usually with KickPay, it takes longer. Okay, so here are the pros and cons. The pros. This is a true no doc loan using EIN only. They send funds directly to your manufacturer, and they have a low financing fee of 3% to 7%. So this is really good. The cons. This may cost more if your sales drop. So there is a penalty if your sales drop and you're not able to meet the payments that you agreed on with KickPay. Okay, it can take over a week to fund, and you must use an eligible fulfillment center to qualify. Which means what? It means that you cannot do fulfillment by yourself. If you have, the whole thing about Amazon where they have a FBM, fulfillment by merchant. If you have that, you cannot qualify with KickPay. You have to use a fulfillment center that they actually have approved. Okay. In terms of the conditions, you got to have at least $250,000 in the past 12 months of revenue. Okay, you must be an e-commerce business. You must use a third-party fulfillment center for storing and shipping inventory, and you must have at least one U.S. location. So this is really important. Or the fulfillment center must have at least one U.S. location. So KickPay, our score, 8.5 over 10. Number 5 here, we have Fora Financials. Our score, 8.8 over 10. So when you think about Fora Financials, I want you to think about business loans using EIN only. I want you to think about merchant cash advances. Fora Financials, they have a constellation of business loans where you don't need documentation anyway. For example, if you take merchant cash advances, they just look at your electronic sales. Okay, they look at your credit card sales, your credit card statement. That's what they look at. Okay, so for our financials for the last few years, they require fewer documents. Okay, you only need to submit 3 months of credit card statements when you apply. Think about that. Only that, and they charge a relatively low factor rate that ranges from 1.1 to 1.9 with an early payoff discount as high as 30%. Okay, so when the way we analyze Fora Financial, we think of Fora Financial as one of the best merchant cash advance providers out there. Okay, and the thing is, on online you can see some bad reviews about the company, but it's only because Fora Financials is very adamant when it comes to the repayment terms. The thing is, they are relatively cheap when they actually approve you, but please make sure that you stick to the payment agreement. So here are the pros and cons of Fora Financial. Pros: they usually only require 3 months of credit card statements. They have low factor rates, and there is no minimum credit score. They are true EIN only business loans. Okay, and the cons: it can take days to fund. They do have here and there some negative customer reviews, and some businesses may have to provide documents. Okay, in terms of the loan amounts, you are looking at $5,000 to $750,000. So $5,000 to $750,000. The APR varies. Okay, and the loan term 4 to 15 months, and they want you to be in business for 12 months and make at least $15,000 in monthly sales, okay, and no open bankruptcies. One thing I want to say about Fora Financial in general is that we love their customer service. I mean, we love the speed. We love the responsiveness. We love the support they give you. Okay, they will help you out. They will look at your financials if need be. They'll look at the trends in your industry. And the good thing is they love repeat business. So if you're a good customer, they will lend to you again and again and again, and they will even lower their factor rate. So this is just fantastic. Number 4, folks, we have national funding. Our score, 9 over 10. I'm still talking to you about the business loan with EIN only, okay? And they'll offer no doc, no low doc, okay? So national funding is a biggie. I mean, they are an online lender that only requires you to have a quote from a vendor when you apply for an equipment loan. But if you want to get other types of loans, they will help you out also. What they ask is they only ask you to give them access to your bank statements. Okay, and so the thing here is that when you talk about national funding, everything starts when they assign a specialist to you. So you go through the website, you fill out the form. There's a 1-page form, and you will see if you pre-qualify for their funding programs. Okay, and if you do, even if you don't actually qualify, they'll have a specialist call you, and that's where the conversation starts. Okay, and we love the fact that national funding is a relatively simple application process. Their process is very simple when compared to other options out there. So here are the pros and cons here. Pros: for equipment financing, they only require a vendor quote. They have low rates compared to online lenders, and they have a simple application compared to other equipment loans. Now, I just want to mention the fact that they do offer other loans also besides equipment financing. Okay, very important to actually say. Now, there cons. It can take sometimes 24 to 72 hours to get approved, which is not really a big con, but hey, listen, if you're looking for an emergency loan, an emergency business loan, this could actually feel like forever. Okay, they only finance up to $150,000 for equipment loans, and they require some documents sometime. And the loan amounts here oscillates from $5,000 to $500,000. Okay, the APR is not clear, but the loan term you are looking at 4 to 24 months, boss. 24 months. And you must be in business for at least 6 months and make at least $250,000 in annual sales. And so other loans programs have additional requirements, but it is what it is. One thing I want to say here also is that national funding, what they do is that they actually, after they give you the loan, they're okay with giving you additional loan, even though the first loan is still outstanding. Okay, as long as you have the right financials to back up the additional loans, they are willing to work with you. As a matter of fact, they get 75% or 76% of their businesses from repeat customers. So that shows you a lot about the strength of their business model. So this is just fantastic. So national funding, our score 9/10. Number 3, folks, we have here Fundbox. Our score 9.4/10. If you are looking for a business line of credit using EIN only with no personal guarantee and no doc, low doc, Fundbox is one of the lenders you want to talk to. Okay, and so they are one of the few true no doc lenders out there for business lines of credit. Instead of looking for financial statements and tax returns, it connects to your accounting software and bank account. So they do the same thing as Bluevine. Okay, so this makes it possible to get approved within minutes. Think about it, and you can get it as funded as soon as 1 business day after you request a withdrawal. So one thing I want to say here is that Fundbox has a model that a lot of those fintechs are using these days. They just connect to your bank statements and accounting software. And you know what? When you really think about it, this is really great. It's wonderful. Why? Because basically, when we talk about the underwriting process, a lot of things like tax returns and financial statements, they talk about the past. Whereas if somebody were to connect to your bank statements right now, they can see the liquidity trends in your account right now. They can see it yesterday. They can see it one week ago, not 1 year ago. Like, you know, if you apply for a loan, a business loan, and the lender wants to see your tax return for last year. Let's say you apply in October and they want to see your tax return for last year. They are looking at historical data. They're not looking at fresh data. Whereas if somebody were to log into your account right now, they were looking at fresh data. Okay, so with the Fundbox, the loan amount goes from 1,000 to 150. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that here are the pros and cons. Okay, one thing you need to understand. You have to understand that the no doc requirements has its drawback, because Fundbox doesn't work with every type of accounting software or connect with every bank account. And its starting fees are high, roughly equivalent to a 35% APR. So this is really high. Okay, so here are the pros and cons. Pros: true no doc business line of credit, approval within minutes. Okay, they are asking for a low time in business requirements, 6 months. This is pretty good. The cons: you must use eligible accounting software and bank account. They have high starting fees, and they have low maximum credit limit of $150,000. And when you're thinking about the loan term, you have 12 or 24 weeks, okay? And the requirements, at least 6 months in business and at least $100,000 in annual revenue. So this is pretty good. Number 2, folks, we have here OnDeck. Our score 9.7/10. When you think about OnDeck, I want you to think about an online lender that specializes in short-term loans and lines of credit for small businesses using EIN only and no documentation, or even low documentation in some cases. Okay, they only require most borrowers to submit 3 months of business bank statements, which you can download from your online bank account. Okay, so when you think about OnDeck, I want you to think about a lender that's really great for short-term business loans. Okay, so this is really great, and it's also one of the few online lenders that can fund your loan the same day you are approved. So, but it is really an expensive option though if you want to go that route. Okay, so you want to save this lender for when you are willing to pay extra for convenience. Okay, so I'll talk to you later on about their APR. Their APR is kind of crazy. APR, you're looking at 29% to 99. Okay, you're looking at 29% to 100%. So this is really high. Okay, and the loan amount goes from 5,000 to $250,000. So it is what it is. So what are the pros and cons here? The pros: they only require 3 months of bank statements. They have same-day funding available, and they have reduced fees for repeat borrowers. Here are the cons: they have a high starting APR of 29.99%. Think about that. That's just really high. Okay, you have a choice between prepayment penalty or higher rates, and they do require some documents. So On Deck is really great if you are willing to if you want to get the cash real quick and you are willing to actually eat a very high APR. The whole thing is, in our experience, businesses that go to On Deck is because they have found a great opportunity and their ROI is so huge that they are willing to actually eat so much of a high APR. In other words, if you have an opportunity, sitting right there, and you have to seize that opportunity, you need money, and the opportunity will actually provide a return of an ROI of let's say 1,000% or 2,000%, then you really don't care about paying On Deck maybe a 29% or 30% or 40%. At least that's what we have seen in our business. That when we actually accompany clients who want to deal with On Deck, they are usually on a very good deal. Okay, they are very on a good deal, and they know that the money will come. They are comfortable that the ROI that they are making through the deal is high enough to absorb the exorbitantly high fees that On Deck charges. Number one, the best of the best, folks. Best of the best. In our view, Lendio. Our score, 10 over 10. Actually, when you think about business loans using EIN only, with no doc, low doc, with fast reviews, no PG, and generously high amounts, Lendio is a great place. Now, Lendio is not a lender. They're not a lender. They are think of it as a loan marketplace, business loan marketplace. Okay, they have more than 75 lenders in their network. I mean, based on our calculation, they have about 83, but they like to say 75, at least 75. And the cool thing is that you can pre-qualify for a range of options with just a few clicks, and you can actually compare the terms you might qualify for with different no paperwork providers. Okay. One thing I want to tell you though, is very important that you are sure to reach out to the lender to make sure it does not require any paperwork before you continue with your application. Very, very important. Let me repeat that. Be sure to reach out to the lender to make sure it does not require any paperwork before you continue with your application. Okay, and so this is really important. And so what are the pros and cons with Lendio? The pros: they do partner with over 75 lenders. They have a wide range of different types of financing, and they have options for bad credit. Okay, normally when you're doing EIN only, bad credit, good credit, fair credit doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, so the cons: Lendio is not a direct lender, and some lenders may require paperwork. This is why I want you to customize the whole experience. I want you to contact the lender that you are interested in working with, and make sure that they are actually they are clarifying for you their conditions. Okay, and so the requirements: your business must operate in the U.S. or Canada. You must have a business bank account. And so this is all they require. And if you want to apply without EIN, you need to have at least 560 in terms of FICO score. One thing I want to say here is that in general, when you think about Lendio, you want to think about a platform that is constantly offering a lot of funding programs. And what we have seen also is that they tend to be a little aggressive after you give them your email address. The thing is, they'll ask you to provide your email, so they will actually disseminate your info to all the lenders. But once you're done with the process, they will keep emailing you. So that's the problem with Lendio. I mean, Lendio is not the only one with that problem, but into this conversation, we are talking about Lendio. So I just want to say that be prepared that they will bombard you with solicitation, with telemarketing offers later on anyway. So yeah, it is what it is. Let me quickly talk to you about I just want to do a little overview before we close today's conversation here. So I was just sharing with you the top 7 EIN only business loans using EIN only business loans with no doc, low doc. Okay. One thing I want to say here is that when we talk about getting a business loan, you got to ask yourself, what are my needs, and how can I actually fulfill those needs? See, a no documentation or no doc lender may be worth looking to if you're looking for a hassle-free, easy business loan. Now, no doc business loans or low doc business loans can be a good choice for small business owners that need short-term working capital fast. So that's the key word, fast. So, and a lot of business lenders, what they ask you to do is to actually connect your accounting software and bank accounts so that they're able to analyze your liquidity level. They're able to analyze your cash inflows and cash outflows and make a determination about whether or not you'll be in a position to qualify for the loan. Okay, so gone are the days where you have to actually go to a branch and you have to print gazillions of pages of your actual tax returns for the last 3 years. You're going to have to print your bank statements. No. Nowadays, they just have a system whereby they can see what's happening in your bank account, in your business bank account. And so one thing you want to do here is that if you want to find the best no doc lender, make sure that you want to ask yourself a few questions. Is this the right loan for what I'm trying to accomplish? Okay, can this lender give me all the funding I need? Very important. You want to look for a provider that offers the amount you are looking for. Okay, taking out too much or too little can put you in a worse financial position. Are the rates and fees competitive? Ask yourself that question. How long would it take to get my money? Is it one week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 days from now, yesterday, today, whatever? Think about that. And do you meet the eligibility requirements? So those are questions that I want you to think about. Okay, because the thing is, online no doc lenders, you would have noticed that when we talk about no doc, we are speaking exclusively about online lenders or alternative lenders. Okay. You don't talk about banks. You don't see any bank, going around and saying, "Listen, I can approve you if you want a no doc loan." No, banks are different, and the same thing for credit unions. You don't see any credit unions in our list today because they don't play, quote unquote, they don't play that game. Before I recap today's conversation for you, please check out our approach when it comes to evaluating, categorizing, and listing business loans on this show. Thank you so much. Here is a recap of today's conversation. So I was just sharing with you the top 7 business loans using EIN only with no doc, low doc, with fast reviews, no personal guarantee, and generously high amounts. So number 1, we have Lendu, 10 over 10. Number 2, we have OnDeck, 9.7 over 10. Number 3, we have Fundbox, 9.4 over 10. Number 4, we have National Funding, 9 over 10. Number 5, we have Fora Financial, 8.8 over 10. Number 6, we have KickPay, 8.5 over 10. And number 7, last but not the least, we have a Blue Vine, our score, 8 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.